Many people spend their lives trying to be what others want. They smile when they don't feel like it. They say yes when they want to say no. They give parts of themselves away to be accepted. At first, it seems harmless. A small favor here, a silent compromise there. But over time, they lose sight of who they are. Masks become their new reality. They hide behind faces they think others want to see. Their true self becomes a stranger. They wonder why they feel anxious or empty. It's because they live for others, not for themselves. Fear drives this. Fear of being rejected. Fear of being alone. So they blend in. They become what others expect. They dim their own light. They trade their soul for approval, and anxiety quietly grows inside. Nietzsche said, "Become who you are." But how can you become yourself if you don't first let go of who you are not? You cannot build on borrowed ground. You must tear down the masks. Face the silence within. Find your own voice again. Many confuse love with sacrifice. They think to be loved they must give everything. Never say no. Never put themselves first. But this is a lie. Because when you give too much, you lose yourself. Your energy drains. Your joy fades. Your heart becomes heavy. Lisa was always kind. She said yes to every request from her boyfriend. She canceled her plans to be with him. She hid her feelings to avoid conflict. At first it felt like love. But soon resentment grew. She felt invisible. Her needs ignored. Her voice unheard. Lisa didn't realize she had lost herself until she felt exhausted and empty inside. Then one day she said no. It was scary. She feared he would leave. But she said no anyway. Some people were upset. But many respected her honesty. Her energy returned. Her anxiety faded. Lisa began to love herself again. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It's an act of self-respect. It protects your energy. It honors your feelings. It says, I matter too. When you say no, you say yes to yourself. When you walk away, you choose peace. When you stop chasing, you reclaim power. Saying no feels scary at first. Fear whispers, they will leave. But that fear is often false. When you honor yourself, the right people stay. The wrong ones leave. And that is freedom. To become yourself, you must stop living for others. You must look in the mirror and say, I am enough. I deserve respect. I am worthy even if I stand alone. This is the first step to real self-love. Start small. Recognize what drains you. Practice saying no. Decline favors you don't want to do. Skip events that tire you. Say what you feel honestly. I need space. I'm not okay with that. It's okay to disappoint others. Your peace matters more. Maya was always the helper. She never said no. Her stress grew. Her health suffered. She felt lost. One day she set a boundary. She told friends she needed space. She declined extra work. The reactions surprised her. Some were upset, but many respected her. Her anxiety lessened. Her energy returned. She found herself again. Without boundaries, you give yourself away. With boundaries, you protect your soul. You create space where self-love grows. It takes courage to say no, strength to walk away. But it's the only way to become who you truly are. Ask yourself, are you living for yourself or for others' approval? Real self-love begins when you live for you, when you detach from people and situations that dim your light. Only then can you say, I am becoming who I am meant to be. Overthinking is a silent storm inside the mind. It starts with a thought, one small worry. Then it grows. Questions multiply like shadows. What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if I'm not enough? The mind traps itself in loops, going over the same worries again and again. Feels like drowning in your own thoughts. Anxiety builds. Sleep fades. Peace disappears. This is the reality for many young people today. The pressure to succeed, to be perfect, to have it all together. It's overwhelming, and the mind reacts by overthinking, trying to control the uncontrollable, trying to prepare for every possible outcome. But this effort backfires, because the harder you try, the more stuck you become. Overthinking is not weakness. It's a signal, a message from your inner world. It means you are scared. Scared of uncertainty. Scared of failure. Scared of facing feelings you have been avoiding. Emma was caught in this storm. She replayed conversations in her head for hours. She worried about what people thought of her. She feared making mistakes at work. Her mind never rested. She felt exhausted but couldn't stop thinking. One night, Emma broke down. She realized she was lost in her own thoughts. She knew she needed help. Learning to manage overthinking starts with awareness. Notice when your mind is racing. Recognize the pattern of worry. Then gently bring yourself back to the present. Focus on your breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Remind yourself that not everything needs an answer right now. Mindfulness helps. It teaches you to observe thoughts without judgment, to let them come and go like clouds, not to hold on or push away. This simple practice creates space between you and your worries. It weakens the storm. Therapy can also help. Talking to someone who understands your mind. Learning tools to break the cycle. Emma started therapy. She learned to name her fears. She practiced mindfulness daily. Slowly, her mind grew quieter. She felt calmer, more in control. Anxiety is common. You are not alone. It does not define you. It is a part of your story, not the whole story. Overthinking fades when you learn to trust yourself. Trust that you can handle uncertainty. Trust that you are enough. Trust that peace is possible even with fears present. This is emotional maturity. It is self-love in action. Choosing calm over chaos. Choosing presence over panic. You are learning to master your mind. Not to suppress emotions but to guide them. When the mind quiets, your heart can speak. You hear your true needs. You reconnect with yourself. This is freedom. Overthinking may never disappear completely, but it will lose its power. You will learn to stand strong amid the noise. You will no longer be a prisoner of your mind. You will become a calm presence in a chaotic world. And that is real strength. Self-discipline sounds harsh, like punishment, like forcing yourself, like saying no to pleasure. But that's not the truth. Real discipline is love in action. It's not control, it's care. It's not pressure. It's protection. Without discipline, you stay stuck. You keep repeating old patterns. You stay in comfort. But comfort doesn't mean peace. It often hides pain. It delays your growth. You scroll for hours. You procrastinate again. You eat to numb feelings. You avoid hard conversations. All of it feels easy now, but it hurts you later. You wake up tired. You feel scattered. You feel guilty. You lose respect for yourself. Because deep down, you know you're not showing up. You know you're escaping life. You know you're avoiding becoming you. Discipline is the moment you stop running. You stop betraying yourself. You show up. Not perfectly, but honestly. You make your bed. You drink the water. You go for the walk. You say no when you must. You choose growth over comfort. Jason knew this feeling. He kept saying, tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll start writing. Tomorrow I'll leave this job. Tomorrow I'll get my life together. But tomorrow never came. And the guilt grew. He hated mirrors. He avoided friends. He felt fake. Until one day he snapped. He turned off his phone, sat in silence, and asked, "Who am I becoming?" The answer scared him, but it also awakened him. That day, he made a rule. Just one rule. Do one hard thing daily. One small promise kept. One step toward himself. Discipline isn't about extremes. It's about consistency. It's about choosing what matters. Over and over again. Even when it's hard. Even when you're tired. Even when no one sees. That's when it counts most. There's power in routine. Waking up early. Eating well. Taking breaks. Moving your body. Creating space. Not because you must, but because you're worth it. You become reliable to yourself. And that changes everything. The world tells you, follow your feelings. But feelings lie sometimes. They want ease. They want escape. They want shortcuts. But growth doesn't live there. Self-respect doesn't grow there. And real peace? It lives in alignment. Discipline is alignment. You do what you say. You act from values, not moods. You build integrity. And it shows. In how you walk. In how you speak. In how you treat yourself. Even in how you say no. Without discipline, you chase love. You lose yourself in others. You break boundaries. You say yes when you mean no. But with discipline, you protect your space. You stop seeking approval. You become whole. You become enough. This is self-love. Not a feeling. A choice. 1,000 little choices. Every single day. To show up. To keep going. To forgive the slips. To start again. Because you matter. Jason didn't change overnight. But he changed. One choice at a time. He started trusting himself again. He walked taller. He smiled more. Not because life got easier, but because he got stronger. You can feel that too. Not by waiting for motivation, but by moving anyway. Start with one thing. One small promise. And keep it. Then do it again. And again. That's how you rebuild. That's how you come home to yourself. Discipline is not a prison. It's the path to freedom. Not from pain, but through it. You'll never find true self-love until you learn to lead yourself. And that journey starts now. You want love. You want to feel safe. You want to feel seen. We all do. It's human. But in that desire, we often forget ourselves. We abandon truth. We shape-shift. We shrink. You stay in a relationship too long. You ignore red flags. You stop speaking up. You say, it's not that bad. But inside you're dying. You feel small. You feel lost. You feel like a stranger. Because you are. You've lost yourself. It starts small. You stop saying no. You stop taking space. You silence your needs. You pretend you're okay. But you're not okay. You're scared. Scared to lose them. Scared to be alone. Scared to be unloved. Emma was that girl. She was always kind, always available, always giving, until she had nothing left. Her boyfriend decided everything. Where they went, what they did, who she could talk to, what she should feel. She smiled through it. Because he loves me. Because he's just stressed. Because I'm just sensitive. But deep down, she knew the truth. She felt hollow. Like a shell. Like a shadow of herself. But still she stayed. Why? Because pain was familiar. Because she didn't trust herself. Because she thought love meant sacrifice. But that wasn't love. That was fear. That was emotional survival. That was trauma on repeat. One day she broke. In the middle of the night, she sat in the dark, tears falling quietly, heart pounding, and she whispered, "I don't even know me." That was her turning point. Emma began the hard work of coming back to herself, of saying no, of walking away, of setting boundaries, of choosing peace, not drama, not chaos, not constant proving, but peace. It wasn't easy. She cried. She doubted. She wanted to call him back. But she didn't. She stayed strong. Not for revenge. Not for show. But for her. For the girl she once silenced. So many people live like Emma, trapped in almost love, tolerating disrespect, confusing pain with passion. They say, but we have history. But history isn't home. History isn't safety. And history isn't love. You can't build self-love while betraying yourself. You can't feel whole while begging to be chosen. You can't feel peace while walking on eggshells. Love that costs your identity is not love. It's dependency. It's fear. It's your inner child screaming, "Please don't leave me." But that voice needs soothing, not enabling. You don't heal by staying. You heal by honoring your truth, by choosing discomfort over disrespect, by walking away with shaking hands, but steady soul. The truth is, people who truly love you won't punish your boundaries. They won't silence your needs. They won't confuse control with care. They'll meet you. They'll grow with you. They'll respect your space. And if they don't, that's not rejection. That's redirection. Back to yourself. Back to your center. Back to the one relationship that will always matter most. The one with you. Emma found herself again. Not overnight, but step by step. She danced alone. She cried often. She laughed louder. And most of all, she finally felt safe inside her own skin. And that's the love you deserve. Not chaos, not confusion, not conditions, but wholeness, but peace, but truth. It starts with a question. Am I abandoning myself? If the answer is yes, you already know what to do. No one can save you, but you. And that choice, it's not weakness, it's power, it's freedom. You'll never find real self-love until you stop seeking it in people who teach you to hate yourself. You keep chasing one goal, then another, one image, then another, but it's never enough. You feel empty, even after the achievement, even after the applause, even after the compliments. Why? Because it's not rooted in truth. It's not about you. It's about proving something. Proving you're worthy. Proving you're lovable. Proving you're not a failure. But deep down, you still feel unworthy. Still feel anxious. That's the trap. The self-improvement spiral. That looks like growth, but is actually fear. Fear of stillness. Fear of inadequacy. Fear of being seen without the mask. So you build the perfect persona. You hustle. You perform. You say it's discipline, but it's punishment. You say it's motivation, but it's self-abandonment. You say, I just want to do better. But the voice in your head says, you're still not enough. And you believe it every single day. This was Daniel, straight A student, top of his class, always on time, always achieving. Everyone admired him. Everyone praised him. But no one saw the panic, the sleepless nights, the silent breakdowns. He lived on caffeine. He never rested. He feared slowing down, because in stillness, he had to feel. And feeling scared him. So he kept running. from his shame, from his inner child, from his truth. Daniel's therapist asked him, "What would happen if you stopped?" He didn't know. He had no answer, because his whole identity was built on performance, on being perfect, on being the good one. But he didn't feel good. He felt trapped. One day he collapsed at his desk, body shaking, chest tight. He thought it was a heart attack. It was burnout, pure emotional burnout. The body always keeps score. When the mind won't listen, the body will scream. That was his wake-up call. He started slowing down, started feeling again, started grieving the pressure, the lost childhood, the constant pleasing. He learned to sit still. He learned to breathe. He learned to rest. Not quit, rest. That's what many of us need. Not more goals. Not more hacks. Not more productivity. But pause. Stillness. Compassion. Presence. Because here's the truth. You can't discipline your way into self-love. You can't shame yourself into wholeness. You can't hustle your way into healing. You have to slow down, to listen, to feel. Feels scary. It feels unproductive. But that's the work. That's the step. The step no one teaches. The step of unlearning. Unlearning pressure. Unlearning perfection. Unlearning hustle culture. Unlearning the lie that you're not enough. You have to be brave enough to sit with the noise, to meet the parts of you that you've abandoned, the insecure you, the scared you, the angry you, the disappointed you, the real you. Only then can love begin. Because self-love isn't cute. It's not always bubble baths. It's not always affirmations. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's facing your inner critic and not flinching. It's choosing truth over performance. You don't become who you are by pleasing others. You become who you are by unbecoming who you're not, by burning the masks, by breaking the cycles, by sitting in silence and finally saying, "I'm enough as I am." That voice, the one that says, "Prove it," it's not your truth, it's your fear. And fear only wins if you keep running, if you keep avoiding, if you keep abandoning yourself to be liked, to be admired. You were not born to perform. You were born to live, to feel, to breathe, to rest, to exist without justification, to exist without apology. And that is the step to real self-love. Not a goal, not a checklist, but a homecoming to your soul, to your softness, to your enoughness. You don't need to earn it. You already are it. Right now. Even in your mess. Even in your fear. Even in your stillness. You are loved. You are worthy. You are whole.